you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Hey, we're coming here with another great podcast. We're on the road, so if you're missing my big, nice studio mic booms and all the fun stuff we have in the studio, we're on the road off the laptop here, and we're covering our CES 2022 coverage here. You've been seeing all the multiple videos we've been putting up all over the place and our coverage of the live CES floor. And we're doing many companies virtually because, of course, the Omicron and all that sort of stuff that's going on. And today, we're going to be previewing and talking with Kinoo. They're going to be talking to us. We've got the CEO, Jim Margraf, on the show with us, and Michelle Hodgson on the show with us. And welcome to the show, guys. How are you?
Very well, Chris. Good to be here today. Thank you.
There you go. Did I get everyone's names pronounced correctly?
Yeah, you got
Thank you. We always try and get that right. So welcome to the show, guys, and give us your plugs so people can find you on the interwebs, your .coms.
Sure thing. We're Kinoo.com, and that's Kinoo, as in kin, like kinship for family, Kinoo, Kinoo.com.
There you go. So why don't you give each of you maybe a brief bio, who you are, what you do, and what you're doing there at Kinoo.
Sure. Michelle, would you like to begin?
Sure, I'll begin. My name is Michelle Hodgson. As Chris said, I run the business and people operations here at Kinoo, but I also have a background in startup marketing, so I help show off Kinoo wherever we can. And I'll be helping Jim with our live demo today.
Awesome. Jim?
I'm Jim Margraf, so I'm CEO and founder of Kinoo. I've been creating hopefully interesting things for children for many years and decades. If anyone knows Leapfrog, if you know Leapfrog makes learning products for children, I invented the LeapPad. LeapPad, and along the way as well, where my shoulder, anyone has video, there's a sphere with a sphere that looks like a globe. It is a globe. It's an interactive globe, sits on a base you can touch with a stylus. Had created that. More recently, I co-founded LiveScribe to make a smart pen that captures ink and audio. And the last company I did was for eye tracking, eye interaction for augmented reality and virtual reality called iFluence that I sold to Google in 2016. So this is a passion and a way to connect families in a very new way, specifically older loved ones with younger loved ones. And we'll speak about that in just a moment.
All right. So what is the product service you guys offer, and how does it work?
Well, I always like to start with a problem. So the problem to solve for us, we observed, is as you have, we call it the Johnny problem. And this is for little Johnny, who's 4 years old, and he has he's at home with his parents, and he has a remote grandparent or aunt or uncle that really want to stay in touch with him. And at this time with COVID, this is more serious than ever. But even without this, 50% of grandparents live more than 2 hours from their grandchildren. They want to stay in touch, and they can't see them frequently enough. So here's what happens. They get on a phone call, or now Zoom call, with a grandparent, and it goes like this. Hey, Johnny, how are you? Good. What are you up to? Nothing. And then Johnny runs off, and mom chases after him with a smartphone, trying to keep him in frame for the grandparent, the grandma to see him. And at which point, Grammy feels dejected. She feels sad. She feels like she's not able to see him. Can you speak to that, Chris?
I don't have any kids, but I know my grandmother loves her grandkids, and yeah, it's hard for them to interact because they don't. It's really impersonal. The screen thing.
The challenge is kids at that age haven't yet developed social skills, nor do they know how to talk. And this is normal. It's fine. But the issue is at that time, they're interested in the here and now. They run off, and the grandparent, again, parents feels a little guilty, and it creates chaos. They love to see each other, love to see smiles. Those first few seconds are great, but typically the calls last a minute, 2 minutes or so. And then there's a lot of loss and sadness, frustration. So we said, what if we could address this in a way that goes beyond video chat, well beyond FaceTime? So take FaceTime and go FaceTime Plus. What would you want? Well, first of all, you want those kids to be really engaged with the grandparent, not just to potentially play a game with them, but to actually bond with them. So when they're doing something, when they're playing an activity, that both of them are engaged with one another. So we have to design something we call co-play, where it's more than just a game, but they're playing something together and they're both engaged with one another. So we're directing it. So the way we do that is we have activities and games, but they're supported by characters on the screen in the video chat that facilitate discussion, ideas, and bonding. That's the first step. So now video begins and a character introduces themselves. They facilitate the selection of games, guidance, and more. The next thing, it's very cool. We'll show you this live. And the next thing, so that's character. Then we bring AI into this and AR. So there's some artificial intelligence and augmented reality. Now I say that, but for the grandparent, it's simple. It just works. They're having a good time. They're playing. The kids are smiling and laughing. But behind the scenes, since we're at CES, there's some real interesting technology going on. One of them is a handheld device. I'll hold it up for you right now, but we'll see this live in a second. This is a wand. This is a wand. We call it a Kinoo wand. Has buttons on it, a speaker, a microphone, and for the child, it's very ergonomic. They hold it in their hand. The lights come on, and when that happens, it comes to life. Now that supports the gameplay that they have in the video chat. So they're having a video chat. They're playing with their finger on the screen. They're both taking a rocket ride to the moon together, and their videos are in windows, and they're dancing. Then they decide to play another game, and Grammy says, "Would you like to make cookies?" And Johnny goes, "Cookies?" At which point, he grabs his wand. The wand now allows him to pour flour into the batter, to crack eggs, to slice butter. And he does this with his wand, with his hand, physically. And so he's right there with Grammy. And then he whisks it, and they put the cookies in the oven. And this is all happening physically as he's waving the wand around and doing these things. And she sees him doing that. So the knife slicing, the cup pouring, and eventually they have the cookies, they come out, and they, with their fingers, then they eat them up.
Oh, wow. And it has an app that integrates with it too as well?
That's right. So the system is an iOS app for an iPad or an iPhone. Works in conjunction with this wand. And some of the apps are just fingers. Some of the apps are the wand. The wand's used by the child. So the child has the wand in their home, which gives them this extra added benefit of something that there's physical, that they can move with, that makes them even more engaged with the type of play we create. We've created some amazing new forms of play with this AR, and there's some AI running behind this all to hold this all together.
And this is really cool. The wand lights up in its base and lets them know when someone's calling, and so the kids can just grab it. They can see grandma or grandpa's on the phone. They can pick it up and answer the call.
That's coming right now.
Okay.
It lights up when they're playing together, and so when they're pouring the batter, it changes color and sounds come out of it. And you'll see in a little while, you can fish together, and they cast a line, a virtual line with their hand, and their arm moves, and you hear the go, goes in the water, and the fish, and the grandma puts fish on the hook, and the child gets to then reel it out and see what they have. And the fish, of course, talk to them and play and do other things.
So what ages is this recommended for?
It's interesting. We started out at 3 to 7. And we've got a lot of families using this for their 2-year-olds because they just want to get them exposed to the grandparent. And the 2-year-olds are already starting to touch the screen and to play. And they hold the wand, but they're not too sure of that. But they sure have a good time with the grandparents.
I remember when the iPad first came out, seeing like 6-month-old babies, mastering this, touching the screen. I'm like, well, there you go.
It's pretty extraordinary. So would you like to see it?
Yeah, let's see it in action.
Okay. Let's, I guess you can go ahead and share the screen here.
Let's go ahead and share that screen.
So anyone watching, what you're seeing right now is you're seeing, this is a call that's established on an iPad. So I'll hold it up. Here it is. I'm holding the iPad. There's Michelle. Yeah. And she's on, so Michelle in this case is little Michelle, and I'm Grampy. So little Michelle has her Kinoo wand that she can hold up in a second. And there it is. And she'll turn that on. There it is. You can see it. It makes sounds. So we're going to kick off with an activity, a really simple one, but it's interesting because one thing I didn't mention, I said, you'll see Cody and Kinoo. So there's Cody. And we're going to kick off with a very simple game, which kids adore, where together the grandparent and the grandchild can decorate a pizza, but it goes beyond this.
Pizza coming up.
Cody.
Mark Trey. That is super secret. pizza.
Okay, so Michelle and I can both at the same time be putting things on the pizza. So
And you can see each other too.
we can see each other. So I'm putting olives on and mushrooms, and we're using our finger to do this.
Ooh, cheesy.
And you'll see Cody keeps popping in. He likes things. So he talks to us as well.
And for those of you who are listening on the podcast, because the podcast is audio, definitely go to youtube.com/Chris Voss to see the video version of this.
Thank you. So you see Cody pops in again. So I started putting broccoli on. I'm going to put some.
You know that Kinoo loves pickles?
Ooh, I'm going to put some pickles on.
Pickles on a pizza?
Uh-oh, there's Kinoo. He came in and swiped one off. I can tell you, Chris, when kids see this, you get peals of laughter. They just can't resist.
Well, yeah, 3 to 7 years old. This is perfect for them.
And it's fun. I can clear the pizza off now, and there's whipped cream on a pizza, of course. Every kid wants whipped cream.
Bring that whipped cream over here, will
Whipped cream on a pizza.
And Michelle just
That's
threw
fun.
whipped cream. And now she's feeding
you?
Cody.
Yum, yum.
And Cody just loves it. Okay, so that's one example of a game that's it's novel, it's fun, and let's move to another one. Michelle.
And the cool thing is, for those of you listening to audio, during this whole graphic design, you can still see each other on the screen. So you're still connecting. You're still, you can see each other's faces. You're still, having that rapport.
Well, in fact, this activity will show not only can you see each other, but you become part of the activity.
Let's go on an adventure.
Oh, rocket ship time.
Start by taking pictures for your space passports.
So that's
Oh,
Cody's.
wow.
Okay. First, put your heads into the window frames.
There we go.
Smile.
And now we're going to take a
Take a
picture.
picture with the green camera button. Do you like it?
Okay.
If you do, next, make a silly face, like this. And take the picture.
You got some
It's hilarious.
Now, make an open mouth surprise face, like this. And take the picture.
So Cody's facilitating this.
Here are your passports.
And now on our screens, we each see a different view. We each get our own passport. And if you look up in the corner, on my screen, I'm the adult, and I have a slightly different view because the other thing that we do, and this is very exciting, we give little nudges and prompts that can be pushed or pulled. So the adult can ask for something if they're not quite sure what to say to the grandchild.
Oh.
So in this case, I can touch this, and it says, count the number of steps you must perform before liftoff. Space travel requires planning. And these are things, for instance, what would you like to take a picture of on the moon? And this is a quote. So it suggests that I ask this to Michelle. Michelle, what would you like to take a picture of on the moon?
Us dancing in our spacesuits.
Okay, well, let's see if maybe we can do that. So now let's go ahead. And now at this point, we're going to go to the moon. And you'll see we have some activities to play. We have to set dials to red to get ready to blast off. And we're each touching these at the same time. Now we do countdowns. And I'm touching numbers so a child learns counting and numbers and the grandparent can help them. And we're both sitting with videos in the rocket on the launch pad, ready to lift off. Ready, here we go. Woo-hoo! And notice the prompt came up. It said, talk about what you both would leave on the moon for next travelers to find. So again, it's an idea. And
This is great.
Isn't this cool, Chris? Thank you. So, Michelle, what do you think we might find on the moon or leave there?
I hope we see some aliens.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
you never know what you're going to see in space when you fly by and you're on your way to the moon. We'll see. There's
Uh-oh.
so a little alien comes by. And look at our faces show the surprise. The alien
Faces
goes
are surprised though.
I can when kids play with this, they play for hours. The challenge we have is the grandparents. We have a way for the grandparent to end the call because the kids want to keep playing. So now you can see we're on the moon and we're in our little spacesuits.
Yeah, that's cool.
We get to dance to music.
Dancing
And we
thing.
touch this and play different dance moves. And I'm tilting and stretching and hopping and floating. And Michelle's doing the same. We can do it in sync.
Wow.
So there's music, there's emotion, there's play. We're doing something together. We're creating memories. Because this is about memories for the child and the grandparent that they'll have. And of course, you'll see what happens next. Because it now gives the opportunity to, Michelle pulls out a flag, plants it, and we get to take her picture. So
Right on the moon.
And now that gets saved automatically if we like it. It gets saved in the camera roll on your iPhone, and you can share it on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram and other places. And then we click to go home. We lift off. There's our countdown again. Oops. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And off we go. And each time, different things happen on the way to the moon, so there are surprises, and kids come back, and we've got a ticker tape parade back on Earth with a lot of applause.
Wasn't that fun?
This is really cool. You know, I remember calling my grandparents back in the day, and they would put us on, and you would be like, you wouldn't have really anything to talk to. You're like, "Hi, Grandpa, Grandma, how you doing?" And they're like, "Good." And you're like, "How was your day?" And you know. And it was really hard to like connect with them out of the phone.
Chris, that problem exists nationally. It's just it's just a big challenge everywhere. And and we saw this and said, and it actually grew out of my wife's work at NASA. We were looking at, she's working on a project to help connect space travelers with people on Earth when there's a latency of 20 minutes when they're heading to Mars. There's something that we're working on that actually was the genesis of this company. She was working on a doctorate at USC, and it's called time shifting. And we'll be bringing some of that into the product for as well. Last thing, can we show you really quickly a piece of KC? This is our Kinoo wand. Michelle's holding it now. Put this back on. We'll do one activity. I talked about making cookies before. Here it is. We'll slide down our activity selector. We'll go past beach, playset, dogs, pump, cookie maker. So when this one starts up, first Cody's going to guide us on what to do. So Michelle waves her wand. She's setting it, and there we go. Here we go. And there's Cody coming on.
Let's make cookies. Cookies need sugar and butter and chocolate and more.
So notice Michelle and I have different shaped video windows now. She's the large one, so I see her as my grandchild because I want to see her and large and live. And suddenly we get some music. The shelf fills up with ingredients. And let's see, I get to choose it. Michelle, let's put some sugar in that. So I drag the sugar over, and Michelle takes her KC, and she pours the sugar. And she takes this, you have people listening. Wow. She takes this wand and pours it, and it fills up a cup on the screen. The lights flash the color of the sugar. She puts 2 cups in, and see, okay, Michelle, how about some butter? We're going to have to slice that. Can you take your KC? Now she's slicing with the KC in a slicing motion. And she's slicing the butter. And let's put a little more butter in, Michelle. Slice that one up.
That's a lot of butter, Michelle.
Yeah.
This is a big recipe. What do you think this bottle is, Michelle? Do you know what it is?
It's vanilla.
Vanilla. Okay, we're going to pour that in. And notice the KC wand is vanilla color. And lastly, we're going to crack it.
Yeah, it changes color.
And there's sound coming out of it you can't hear. Okay. And I'll put one more egg. And okay.
And there's sound coming out of the wand that people will see.
Sound's coming out of the wand too. And lights change. And now she gets to stir it up. And notice the prompt comes up on my window. And it suggests, can Michelle guess what ingredients will go into the dough next? So it's giving me ideas on things to talk to Michelle about. So Michelle,
awesome.
Thank you. Can you guess what might come next? And then these ingredients come up, and we would continue on. I'll tell you, I'm going to stop this one because I want to let you tell us what fish you want to catch. If we can catch 2 fish. So we'll do one last activity. Well, by the way, we would have made the cookies and baked them with a timer, and they'd come out, and we get to eat them. So we're going to go on to another activity called Fishing Fun. And in this case, here's again, we have different screens. So there's Michelle, and you're seeing my screen as the grandparent. Right?
That's hilarious.
Chris, what fish would you? Michelle is going to move her with her wand. She moves the fishing line back and forth, as you can see, and she's ready. She's going to cast it in. Michelle,
the starfish, the goldfish, pretty much whatever.
A catfish. Which one would you actually? There's a catfish, a starfish.
Shark. The shark looks pretty good there.
You want to catch the shark? Okay, so I'm the grandpa. Yeah, Michelle, can you move? Can you hook the shark? She moves her fishing line around, and I move the shark around.
So you're playing with each other.
She reels it in,
and the shark's all happy. That's funny.
Somebody comes out of the shark's mouth and in the water. But here's one. Michelle, can you catch the clownfish? Okay. And I'm the Grampy. I just move it to the hook, and she moves her hook, and I move the fish. And let's see if I can hook it on.
Got a bite!
And Cody says she gets it.
What kind of fish only comes out at night?
A starfish!
By the way, kids get these jokes, Chris, and that's what runs in the house for the next week or two. Would you like to pick a fish? Or actually, you see the garbage floating by?
Hmm?
Let's see. So there's not only...
Oops.
There's a boot and a tire.
Oh, she caught a swordfish. Let's say she catches a boot.
You found some garbage. I'll take that.
Oh,
So
there
again,
you go.
It's environmentally focused, and a little prompt comes up for me. Michelle doesn't see this. Says, what do fish say when they clean up their home?
Hmm?
I don't know. What do they say when they clean up their home, Michelle? Not sure. So, Chris, you get a little flavor of the many things that we can do with a new type of co-play that connects grandparents and grandkids. And when they come back, they tell us previously their calls were 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes. And now typically their calls tend to run 30 minutes.
Wow.
They just love, and even more so, rather than the parent having to say, okay, we got to call Grammy, and the child running away, the child goes to the parent and says, can we canoe? Can we canoe? Can we canoe with Grammy?
That
And
is
this
awesome.
all across the country. So exciting.
And this is really cool. And I like the fact that what you mentioned, this is about making memories, because I don't remember the calls with my grandparents. And like you said, I used to, call grandpa and you're like, I have nothing to talk to him about. But I remember all the times I spent with my grandparents. I remember the activities we did. And so this is really cool, and it makes memories. And like you say, it saves to the phone as well. So they have a recording, something they can look back on years from now of their memories.
That's right. That's right, Chris. And you know what? We get some really poignant letters from users. We had a letter that where the grandmother said, "My husband now has found a new relationship with his grandson.
Oh,
They didn't know how to talk before, and now they talk."
mm-hmm.
And we had another letter from an aunt and her nephew, and she said, "You saved Christmas for us." The nephew, somebody had COVID in the family, and they couldn't be. And
Wow.
This allowed them to talk in ways they'd never talked before, because it's not just playing a game. There are some apps out there that put games and books just on video window. And what happens is people play the game. They look down and they play. What we've done is we've designed, because of the experience that I have from Leapfrog, and one of our co-founders, Mark Schlichting, had created Living Books, another hugely successful product for kids back in the 90s. We understand what engages children and adults and how to engage them together, and how to really make sure that each one is contributing, and that grandparent feels relevant, feels like they're giving something to the grandchild. They're helping them learn and grow with letters and numbers and social emotional skills. And the child, as you said, there's memories that are being created for that child. And the parent watches on kind of awestruck going, I never knew that my child could play with my dinner.
Yeah, and it's a screen time that parents feel good about. Their kid isn't just consuming material here; they are actually engaging and involved with their grandparents. So it's great for parents. It also gives parents kind of a moment to be able to go do some other things, because they know and they feel good that their child is connecting with the grandparent, and they're going to be entertained for at least 30 minutes, if not more. So we've heard great things about that as well.
That's big for parents too, and great for grandparents. Now, what does this cost? It's fairly inexpensive, right?
It is indeed. Right now, we have a Christmas holiday special still on. We just launched just before Christmas, and it's all about getting the word out, because the parents that use this and grandparents tell us. So right now, it's on special for $49. Gets the Kinoo wand and a year's subscription. Normally, it's $10 a month for subscription, and the wand will be roughly $79. But right now, it's a $49 price for everything, just so that early adopters can gain exposure to this and begin to share their experiences with this. So it's an amazing price. I mean, one grandparent said, "Are you kidding? You give me one good phone call with my grandchild with some photos that I can remember and share with my other friends, and it's done." It's just that's I don't even think about it.
That's awesome, man. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I've seen special, portals like Facebook's portal where you can just talk, but having the interaction, having the rapport, making the memories, having the activities where you're actually doing something with each other, and having that suggestion, because, I mean, if you're 79, a grandparent, and, you have a 3 to 7-year-old child, it's a little hard to talk to them. I don't know. Maybe some are better than I am with kids, but sometimes you're just like, there's the rapport difference of, like you're like, so did you watch the politics today? This is the rapport. So this is really great.
It's been funny. We watch a grandparent try to teach their 3-year-old how to play chess. They think,
oh, really?
And of course, the child has no idea what turn taking even means. They don't know what it means to swap taking turns.
Yeah.
So what we do is we teach the adult. The grandparent learns about play. They end up learning. But the most important thing, the takeaway from this is we create fun memories and moments for grandparents. If you're a grandparent and you want to have an incredible time with your grandchild, we've not found a better way. Even when you're in person, sometimes talking can be difficult. Easier for grandmoms usually than granddads. But in this case, remote connection, it just works. As you saw, it smiles and laughter, and we've not had ever a grandparent or a grandchild begin playing with this without immediately the music, the characters. Cody comes on, smiles, the grandkids' eyes just light up, and then suddenly the grandma or granddad has superpowers. They're putting fish on a hook. They're moving ingredients for making cookies, and the grandchild just adores it.
I love it. It's awesome. Anything more we want to touch on before we go out?
Just for basic reminder, Kinoo.com. This comes from, again, I've got a team of people from Leapfrog for people that know Leapfrog. And I created Leapfrog Leap Pad. So we helped over 100 million kids back in the early 2000s learn to read. And we're bringing this fun and enjoyment and quality to experiences now for grandparents. And it's Kinoo, Kinoo.com. And hope we see some of your viewers at our website soon, and being able to try this out and extend their time together in this really difficult period where people are separated and would love to be with one another closely.
Definitely. This new Omicron outbreak, I was looking at the numbers and it's just exploding. And if you're a parent, you definitely want to grab this and give it to your grandparents and stuff, because just being able to have them take some time to, like you say, go play and stuff. So guys, it's been wonderful to have you on. Give us the plugs for the website.
Kinoo.com, Kinoo, as in kinship, and Kinoo, Kinoo.com. And there you'll find all you need to know, and you can order away. We're shipping now. Started just before Christmas. And if you're a grandparent, give a gift of love and memories and fun to yourself.
There you go. Well, it's been wonderful to have you both on the show. Thanks for coming on and sharing this with us.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Michelle.
Yes.
Thank you both.
Practice more fishing.
It was fun to see you guys go to space. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. We certainly appreciate it. Be sure to watch for our continuing coverage of CES 2022. That's a lot of twos. And all that good stuff. But be sure to watch the video version of this, because you want to see what we did on the screen there at youtube.com/Chris Voss. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss. See my book and all we're reading and reviewing over there. Go to all of our groups: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those different places. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time.